Good morning. This is your Stats Sensei, Mr. Spensei, and this is more on the binomial distribution. This is Marco guessing on Mr. Spencer's stats exam. I don't think that's going to work out very well for Marco. So, Mr. Spencer's stats exam has 20 true false questions, and Marco plans to guess on them all because he didn't study. All right. So, what's the probability he gets no more than 14 correct? So, first off, the probability of guessing correct is 0.5. And our group, our number of trials is 20. All right. So we know what that is. And when we look at our recipe, we go, okay, name the distribution. Well, in this case, it's the binomial. And the reason I know it's a binomial is I have a fixed probability. It's not going to change. I'm just guessing the whole way. My trials is set. So we have binary. Got it right, got it wrong. So right or wrong. So that's my binary. Independent. One guess doesn't impact the other. He has a 50% chance of guessing right each time. He might get zero right, or he might get all 20 right. And the number of trials is fixed. In this case, the number of trials is 20. So it's a binomial distribution. The next thing we need to do is define x. So let x equal the number of correct answers. All right. Next thing we need to do is draw a graph. All right. And circle this what we want success number of successes. So in this case, we want no more than 14. 0, 1, 2, 3. And I can keep numbering, but I generally go, oh, that's a lot. So I'm not going to 13, 14, 15, dot, 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 all the way to 20. But we said no more than 14. Well, 14 is no more than 14, 13 is no more than 14. So all of these are what I need. So I have multiple values circled. As soon as I have multiple values circled, I need to go to this side over here, okay, and write my probability statement in symbols. My probability statement is the probability that X, which we just defined as the number of correct answers, is less than or equal to 14. The next thing I need to do is write the formula. Again, we're on the right-hand side. We have multiple because we have multiple values circled, so I need the summation sign. But otherwise, it's the same formula that's on your formula chart. So with that said, it's going to be the summation of n choose x, probability of x, and this is 1 minus the probability of n minus x. That's my formula. And then the next thing I need to do is start plugging in. Well, because this is multiple values, I'm going to have to do the lowest circle value and the highest circle value. And my lowest circle value is 0. So n choose 0. Oops, not n. My sample size is 20. So 20 choose 0. 50% chance of guessing. This goes here because that's my number. Then 1 minus 0.5. And I could have just put 0.5. And 20 minus 0 is 20. That's the lowest. That's this one. Plus, dot, 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 plus. The highest one. 20, choose 14. 0.5 to the 14th. 1 minus 0.5. And then 20 minus 14 is 6. So I've now shown all my work. And here we go. We're going to press math, drop down to summation, and press the X button, which is right here, X. My lowest value is 0. And then we want up to 14. That was the highest value circled. Second vars, binomial PDF. Trials, we have 20 of them. Our probability is 0.5. And we want to make sure we have X, and X is this button right here. Oops. 0.5, enter, then press X. And I end up getting 0.9793. So there's about a 98% chance that he gets less 14 questions or less correct. All right, the next one. What's the probability he gets exactly 14? Well, I've already defined my variable, let x equal the number of correct answers, so I'm not going to do that again, but I am going to make my number line up. I've already named it, it's a binomial, and we already know that the probability is 0.5 and n is 20, but my number line is really key. In this case, 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 13, 14, 15, dot, 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 all the way to 20. But I'm only circling one value. Oh, I'm circling one value. So in this case, I don't need the summation. I need the nx. All right. So in this case, my formula is going to be n choose x without the summation sign, p to the x times 1 minus p to the n minus x. And I need to plug in. Well, 20 choose 14. 0.5 is the probability of success raised to the 14th power, 1 minus 0.5, and 20 minus 14 is, is 6. 20 minus 14 is 6. All right, there's no summation sign, so I don't have to go to the summation. I just go second vars, binomial, PDF, 20.5. My x is no longer x. I have to change it to 14. And this is because it's an exact value. It's a singular value. So it equals 0.0369. And that's our answer. What's the probability he gets less than 10 correct? So 0, 1, 2, dot, 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 9, 10, 11, dot, 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 all the way to 20. Be careful. Less than 10. All right. So that means 0 through 9. I need to do something real quickly I didn't do on this last one. I forgot to write my probability statement. I needed to write the probability that x is equal to 14 because it's equal to a singular value. Here, my probability statement is probability that x is less than or equal to 9. So this is going to need a summation. So this is going to be the summation of n choose x, p to the x times 1 minus p to the n minus x. And 20 choose my lowest value was 0, lowest circled value, 0.5 to the 0, 1 minus 0.5, and 20 minus 0 is 20. So that takes care of the lowest value. We're going to bookend it and go to the highest value, which was 9. So 20 choose 9, 0.5 to the 9th power, 1 minus 0.5, 20 minus 9 is 11. So math, summation, x, lowest value, 0. Keep going. Highest value, 20. Second vars, binomial, PDF. Trials is 20, probability is 0.5. X value, we have to change to x. Oops. I did something wrong. Oh, I did wrong. I got to go back. Math, summation, x, lowest value 0, highest value circled. Highest value circled was 9. Second vars, binomial PDF. There we go. Trials is 20, P is 0.5, and I still have to have X. And there we go, 0.4119. So there's about a 41% chance that they get less than 10 correct. So there's a 41% chance you make a 50 or more. Hope you start studying. So what's the standard deviation and mean for the number of correct answers? All right, let's do the mean first. The expected value is n times p. Well, in this case, n is 20. The probability of getting it right is 10. So if you're just guessing on this free response test or this true false test, we'd expect you to get 10 correct. Our standard deviation is the square root of n times p times 1 minus p, which in this case is the standard deviation of sample size or number of trials is 20. Probability of success is 0.5. Probability of failure is also 0.5. So 20 times 0.5 times 0.5 equals, raise it to the half power. And I end up with 2.236. That's my standard deviation. The next one, what's the probability he gets at least 14 questions correct? All right, so 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 13, 14, 15, dot, 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 all the way to 20. But I want at least 14. So I have multiple values. So that means I have to use the summation. The summation is going to be n choose x, p to the x, 1 minus p to the n minus x. My probability statement, probability that x is greater than or equal to 14. That's a probability. We should be good to go with that. At this point, I need to plug in. I need to start with my lowest value, which in this case was 14. So 20, choose 14. The probability of guessing correct is 0.5, raised to the 14th power. 1 minus 0.5, and 20 minus 14 is 6, plus dot, dot, dot. That's the lowest one. The highest one was circled as 20. So 20, choose 20. 0.5 to the 20th. 1 minus 0.5. 20 minus 20 is 0. All right. So here we go. Math, drop down to the summation. X is 1. Oh, excuse me, X is 14 because that was the lowest value we circled. The highest value was 20. Second vars, binomial PDF, and trials is 20. Our probability of success is 0.5, and we're using X because we're using a summation. And there's about a 6% chance that they actually pass that test because that's what that is. That's 70% or higher. So if you go in guessing, you got about a 6% chance guessing correctly enough to pass. All right. Hope that helped. On to the next page. Continuing Marco's guessing. So we have the same scenario, but we now Marco guessing, and he wants to guess at least 10 correct. Again, I'm not going to redefine it because this is X is a number of correct responses. It's still a true false test. So our probability of guessing is 0.5. There's 20 questions on it. And our number line in this case is 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 9, 10, 11, dot, 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 to 20. At least 10. Those would be at least 10. So my probabilities, that's incorrect. 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 9, 10, 11, dot, 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 20. At least 10 would be circling these values right here. So the probability that X is greater than or equal to 10 is what we're looking for. This is going to be a summation because we have multiple values. The summation formula is just the same as the others, but we put a summation sign in front. So in this case, N, choose X, P to the X, times 1 minus p to the n minus x. This minus this, that should be an n, by the way, even though it doesn't look like one because I messed up. Plugging in, we're going to have multiple values, which means I have to do the lowest and the highest. So the lowest is going to be 20, choose 10, the number of tries, number of successes, 0.5 to the number of successes, which is 10, that's the lowest, times 1 minus 0.5, and 20 minus 10 happens to also be 10, plus plus 20, and the highest value was circled was 20, so 20 choose 20, 0.5 to the 20th, 1 minus 0.5, and 20 minus 20 is 0. So math, summation, x, x, lowest value circled was 10. Highest value circled was 20. Second vars, binomial, PDF, trials is 20, P is 0.5. That's the X. And remember, X is right here. And we have about 58.8%. All right, be careful. This is where it says the probability to get more than 10 correct. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 20. More than 10, 10 is not more than 10, but 11 is. So this is the same as what we're doing above, but we're starting at 11. So our probability statement is the probability that X is greater than or equal to 11. I'm not going to rewrite the formula because it's the same one we just used. So this is going to be lowest value, 20, choose 11, 0.5 to the 11th power, 1 minus 0.5, 20 minus 11 is 9, plus plus 20, choose 20, 0.5 to the 20th power, 1 minus 0.5, and 20 minus 20 is 0. Math, enter. X, lowest value circled was 11. Highest value circled was 20. Second vars, binomial PDF. Trials is 20, P is 0.5, X value, which comes from the center button. Press enter. And we get 0.4119. All right, what's the probability that Marco gets between 9 to 13 questions correct? Or gets 9 to 13 questions correct? 0, 1, 2, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20. So in this case, 9 to 13, that's that group right there. Once again, we have multiple values. All right, so I'm not going to rewrite the equation because it's still the summation equation that we've been using. But in this case, my probability statement is going to be different because now we're looking for the probability that 9 is less than or equal to X is less than or equal to 13 because it could be as low as 9 or high as 13. All right, it's not a one-sided, it's in between. So when it's in between, you're going to have the X in between the two values. But showing my work is still the same as what I've done before. I'm going to have 20 choose 9, 0.5 to the 9th power, 1 minus 0.5, 20 minus 9 is 11, plus plus 20, the highest value circled was 13, 0.5 to the 13th power, 1 minus 0.5, and 20 minus 13 is 7. So, math, summation, press enter, X. My lowest value circled was 9. Highest value circled was 13. Second vars, binomial PDF, 20.5 X and X. And we end up with about 69% equals 0.6906. All right. Finally, again, be careful. What's the probability it gets between 9 and 13? So 0, 1, 2, dot, 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 8, 9, 10, dot, dot, dot. You know what? 11, 12, 13, 14, dot, 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 20. So between 9 and 13, oh, that means more than 9 and less than 13. So that means I'm looking for 10 to 12. So be careful with that. I've never seen them do this on an AP exam, but I want you to be aware of it. My probability statement. Well, I have an in between, so my X has to be in between. Well, what's X in between? 10 and 12. So the probability that 10 is less than or equal to X is less than or equal to 12. All right, equals this. Now we're going to be showing the same formulas we had before. That hasn't changed. It's still the same summation, so I'm not going to rewrite it. But my lower value, 20, choose 10. That's my lowest thing that I circled. Plus, times 0.5 to the 10th power times 1 minus 0.5 to the 20 minus 10, which is also 10, plus dot, 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 plus 20, choose 12. That's the highest value I circled, 0.5 to the 12th, and then 1 minus 0.5, and 12 minus 20 minus 12 is 8. So here we go. Math, drop down to summation. X, and my lowest value circled was a 10. Highest value circled was a 12. And second vars, binomial PDF. And we end up getting 0.4565. All right, this was written poorly, so I'm going to rewrite this. This is technically the end of the video. So if you want to head on off, that's fine. 1.5 to the 10th, 1 minus 0.5, 20 minus 10 is 10, plus dot, 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 plus. I don't know why I keep writing up at an angle, but I am. And then 20, choose 12.5 to the 12th, and 1 minus 0.5. 20 minus 12 is 8. I'm not sure that that's any better, but it was an effort. All righty, guys, I appreciate you watching. I hope to see you on the next one. I sure hope this helped. Thank you.